once again to Infinite Talk, your on channel where we make sure you get the right knowledge about education, right knowledge about the products, the courses, what are beneficial for the students. So today we come once again with you, and we have Junior Graduate School of Engineering with us. So to start with, I would like to welcome Mr. Eric Manning, who is the Director of International Affairs with us today, and Ms. Cynthia Zubair, Director of International. Welcome both of you to India. And I think this is your first trip to India, Cynthia.
Yes, it is.
I hope the things are going well
it's
with
going
you.
great.
Right.
Thank you.
So just to keep you posted, we have recently signed with Junior School of Engineering, and managing their operations now need to get the right product, right students onto the campus, and a lot of things are happening. And I would like if Mr. Eric can start with telling the people here, the students here, the partners here about the Junior Engineering School. What are the specialties, what course you're running? So
Sure.
if you can please guide our audience onto this.
Absolutely, thank you, Gaurav. So we're an institution, and we're based in a city called Lille, right? Which is an hour and 20 minutes away from London, an hour away from Paris, half an hour from Brussels, and 3 hours from Amsterdam. We are part of a federation of schools, and so within that federation we have 40,000 students, or very close to 40,000, and there's 6,000 international students. That is just we're the biggest private provider in France, right? Junia is one of those schools. Within Junia, we have 5,000 students, and although we are private, we are not for profit.
Right.
Within that federation, there's 40,000 students in Lille, but in fact, in Lille, there's 180,000 students. So I always joke about Delhi. We're not quite Delhi, but it's true when you get off the train in Lille, you'll see lots of students, lots of young people. The city is really geared towards student pricing, be it the restaurants, be it the accommodation, all the sort of extracurricular activities that go on there are really geared towards students.
Right.
In Junia in itself, we have programs in English, right? So we have 2 intakes during the year. We have one in September, and we have another one in March. In September, it's our master's intake. We have 10 masters in English language. They are 18,000 euros each. And then in March, we have what we call our extended master's intake, which is a new program actually that we're launching. And those programs offer students an additional 16 weeks to help them with preparatory skills in relation to integrating postgraduate study, be it intercultural studies, maybe some research methodology, and research skills and other bits and pieces to make sure that they're well prepared for their master's programs. They're fully integrated programs, so the students start in March. They apply in March. There's no need for them to reapply any other point during the curriculum. And those programs sell for 21,000 euros each, not pounds, but euros, 21,000 euros each.
So as Eric said, the location of the city Lille, the students are going to France for studies. So it's a well-connected city, and it's called a student city with the strength of 180,000 students studying in one city. Accommodation is brilliant, when a student goes there. Eric, you said you have 2 intakes, March and September, because we are in the industry for almost 15 years now, and we see the students who want to get into Europe, want to study in Europe, so they struggle onto the intakes because most of the universities and colleges, they have 1 September intake. So what makes you to take this initiative, running a March intake, and it sounds brilliant because a lot of students who miss on to their September intake now, they don't have to wait for a year. So that sounds perfect. So can you tell us what comes in the mind, because I've never seen a European institute running a March intake.
Sure. So, I guess I have a lot of experience actually in international education. I've actually come from the UK. I've worked with Gaurav for many a year, and I'm actually really honored and pleased to be working with Gaurav again. I know what the market wants. We understand India. In fact, Gaurav was saying at the beginning, we're not just here today. We are actually, by working with Gaurav, we're in India every day. So that's the first thing. And secondly, we know what students want. We understand what the needs of the market are. We talk about what's happening in India, but also when the students come to us in France, we're very student-centric. We understand what the student experience is, and we know that students need to start at different times of the year for different reasons.
Yeah. And I'm also looking at the courses, what you're running in March. the courses sounds perfect, because every student who wants to study abroad, they look at the return on investments as well, and they look for a course which have a long and future prospect for the student. So the courses like big data, software engineering, embedded electronic system, digital health, these are highly demand programs. So Cynthia, can you tell me something about the course called Extended Masters of Science and Engineering in Big Data? So how does this course works, and what exactly is big data, and what are the prospects of this for the students after they complete the program with juniors graduate school?
Well, big data is obviously huge right now in terms of employability.
Right.
Okay, but it's managing all that data that we have in the world today. Internet of Things, IoT technology, and so on.
Right.
So that's what that is, and that's the career prospects afterwards can be many, many different things, because every organization uses data these days, right? So it's controlling data, it's using it to the best of their ability to create more streams of customers, what have you. So,
So does this course take students to become data analysts in future jobs and managing the data for the big organizations?
Absolutely, that's one area that they can be, but that's...
Facebook is big today because of data.
Absolutely.
Now you have opportunity to get into the data, managing the data. So that's how brilliant.
Yeah.
And this course, the background, what you look at for big data. So do you need students from IT or from...
students that have perhaps a background, a bachelor's degree in computer sciences, technology of some sort. So that's what we're looking for.
Okay.
Students have to be good in math too. I mean, that's just, but they would have been good in math in order to have a bachelor of engineering in that area.
In India, when we talk about Indian students, so there are two different degrees what students do in terms of IT. So one is 3 years program, which is bachelor's in computer applications. Another one is BTech, so that is 4 years of engineering program in computing. So I think with this, both the degrees, the bachelor degree is eligible for the program.
It's compatible with that.
It's compatible, that's good.
Yeah.
And I would like to put some knowledge from you on digital health, because especially during the pandemic and now post-pandemic, the health sector has become big, but I've never heard about digital health. So can you please put some light onto it?
Absolutely. I guess one of the things I want to say before I talk about the program, but also Junia, it's all about the major shifts in the world, be it the environment, be urbanization, saving the planet, but also we're looking at technology, digitalization in a number of fields. And one of them in particular is looking at the health sector. Right. And things are becoming more and more connected. We're implementing sort of sensors all over the place, but we're making sure that those sensors have a useful end, right? And one of them obviously is the medical profession. Now doctors, for example, they can conduct, diagnostics. They can do those in person, a lot quicker, sure of those results thanks to the technology. They can make those analyses, but also they can do those things now remotely, which is really the future, the way to go. So we're really happy that we're in a position to be able to...
And we all have seen, in the past, the health sector at a lot of countries, at a lot of places is not organized properly, and a lot of problems have been faced. So digital health is all about organizing the health sector digitally, if I'm not wrong, and I think which is a big requirement for the world nowadays. So a lot of job prospects coming in for the students who are going to onto digital health in the coming. Okay, and then I can also see, Cynthia, the food science, so you have got like big data is for IT background students. Then you also have software engineering for IT students. You also have embedded electronic systems. So I think that's for all the engineering students basically.
That's computer science. That's
okay, so that's again for computer science. Digital health, Eric, you said. So before we move ahead, what background you look at digital health? So is it again IT sector students or the health background students can join?
We're looking for more people with a technical background. So that's what we would be looking for. But people who have a bachelor's in a similar field. Actually, it's true for a lot of our degrees. Right. We're looking for people that already have the experience in the sector.
Okay. And food science, because food science is again an emerging industry now. So a lot of big companies I've seen now working on food science. Even there are a lot of MNCs in India which are now capturing the lands and want to get into organic food sector and all that stuff. So can you guide what is food science exactly?
So that's interesting because it's food science is actually all the processes in between the planting of the having create the cultivating of the food in the fields to when it lands on your plate, when you had your dinner. So all the processes in between, that encompasses food science. So it's a lot about quality, okay? It's about making better processes, healthier processes, and so on. I think in all of our programs, they're especially geared toward, what we call responsibility and keeping, because tomorrow, Eric mentioned that tomorrow, there's so many challenges that we're facing. And one of those is creating healthier food that will feed more people, So that's how we're, how the engineers in life sciences, because that's actually what we're looking for. We're looking for students with a background in life sciences, in biology, et cetera, for example, for food science program.
Yes, I just want to say something here, but there's some major shifts in the world. Be it how, like you were saying, how do we nourish the planet? The environment. And we talked about that. Digitalization, urbanization. Our degrees, we're going to need engineers that are going to be able to implement those solutions. And that's what we're about. We're about training those people so they can implement those solutions going forward. So you're talking about employability. Well, I think those are the type of skills that those people, that the world is going to need going forward.
Exactly. And food science, is the processing of food in the right way is very, very important. I give you an example, Eric. I met someone a couple of weeks before, and they are from this cosmetic industry. So I was speaking to them, a lot of creams are coming to have a healthy glow skin. So they said cream only works 5%. 95% is the food what you're eating. So that makes your skin glow. So that's important, the food is. So it's very important and a brilliant course for the students to go for. And sounds very interesting. We have agriculture science and agriculture economics, marketing and management as well. So how does these two courses correlate, and what background of students do we look at? So do we especially look at someone who is from agriculture background? Because in India there are a lot of students who do bachelor's in agriculture. Or do we look at other profiles of students onto this program and how the program works here?
So yes, the answer is yes. These students do have to have an agriculture background. Okay. Absolutely. Agricultural science is more about the production of crops and animals. Okay. Focus, that's traditional agriculture, if you will. And then the marketing, the program in economics marketing and management is geared toward those individuals with an agricultural background, but who want to stay in the field, for example, as traders or other economic or marketing, for example. So it combines all those business skills with an agricultural background.
Perfect. So someone who is from agriculture background want to become an entrepreneur in the industry. So the course sounds perfect, agriculture economics, marketing and management. So brilliant, Sustainable management, Eric. Sustainable management of pollution. So what exactly is this? I've never heard this program in last 15 years and sounds very exciting, because a lot of students now they want to get into specialization. So can you please guide us on sustainable management of pollution?
I'll let you take this question, Cynthia. You've had more experience in the program itself.
This is actually one of the classes that we've had, one of the programs that we've had in our ISA, which is more focused on the biology programs. So it's, this is obviously a problem that is facing, so many countries of the world, so many big cities of the world. So how do we manage pollution sustainably? Well, there's many different things that we can consider from smart cities. There's a lot of aspects of cities, how to minimize the pollution that we make in cities. So there's a lot of overlap between smart and resilient cities, which is another one of our programs that we offer. But reducing pollution overall, and that can be done in so many ways. I mean, there's a lot of different fields within that big field, whether it's actual pollution on the ground, the minimizing the resources, the negative impact of the resources that we're currently using, to air, minimizing air or noise. There's so many different kinds. So this particular program covers many of those areas, but also for those students who want more of a general rather than going into specific issues like air pollution. It's also minimizing that for the cities that are facing it right now. So. And obviously it's tailored. The student can actually be based on the knowledge of the faculty. They can tailor to whatever they need later on. If they're, for example, a student from Delhi, perhaps more of it will be focused on the problems that Delhi is facing right now. You know, the honking of the horns, the noise pollution,
noise pollution, air pollution, everything.
No, but I think there are other challenges that are facing.
Yeah.
So I know that's that's probably not as specific as you want, but it is a brand new program that we're offering. So.
Yeah. No, that's fine, because pollution is one thing which is actually spoiling the health of the people, and which is health is everything.
Yeah.
So, but I went to France, and I see there is no pollution on the roads, right? The pollution is in the air, because you have so many jets, and manufacturing so many aircrafts, and a lot of trainings were happening, So I see a lot of things are happening in...
Sometimes you don't see it. For example, in France, we have a very serious problem about water pollution. So it gets under, and the chemicals that are in our water. So even if you don't see it, it's probably there.
I would love a student from Delhi should go and do this program, because we need a lot of improvements in India now, and the government will also support on this program, I'm sure. So that's about pollution thing. Eric, so it's about the one program is sustainable management of pollution. So where we are sorting the problem of pollution, air pollution or noise pollution or pollution on land. Another program is again promising, smart and resilient cities.
Sure.
So how do you focus on this program, and what are the prospects for the students after doing this program?
I mean, this is about the future, isn't it? The urbanization. I don't have the stats with me, but it's phenomenal. The amount of people that are moving to big cities.
Right.
How do we manage those cities? How do we record the data?
Right.
How do we look at energy consumption?
Yeah.
How do we become more efficient? Really, there's a real need for that. If I take the example of Delhi, where we are today, if Delhi continues to grow the way it does, we're going to need to manage that. Right? So that's what this is about. It's about understanding those phenomena and then looking at the solutions that we can provide to make sure that Delhi becomes you're talking about the pollution maybe, but also it just
Delhi becomes pollution free, systemized city, no traffic, nothing, going straight in lines. So that's how the program is all about.
I don't know if we'll achieve that tomorrow, but we definitely want to make sure that we're moving in that direction.
Right.
And these are the type of jobs that these students, I think there's definitely a market for these type of students, be it in France, but also when they come back to
So for this particular program, we're looking for students with an architecture background, for example. We also looking for students with an urbanization background. I don't know if that's something that exists here in
So we have a bachelor's in urbanization.
So it's a broader range of students that we're accepting into this program, but everyone is interested in having better cities, healthier cities, greener cities, basically.
And another thing, I need to understand extended Masters of Science and Engineering in Bio-nanotechnology. So what exactly is Bio-nanotechnology? So if you can please...
Go ahead,
You take that one. It's actually interesting. It's a program we've had for a long time, but we're now offering it in English. And Cynthia's got a lot of experience with this program, so I'll take the question.
Thank you very much, Eric. Yes. Bio, obviously, so they got to have biology in the background, right? So, So I guess this is one of the programs that is a hybrid program of ESEN, which is our computer sciences, combined with students ESA, which is our agronomy, agricultural, life sciences program. So combining those, I to be perfectly honest with you, I would need to do more research on this particular. It's in the process of being developed in the English language. Nanotechnology is obviously looking at things at a very small scale. So if you take biology, nanotechnology, so imagine what you can do with that.
Yeah, exactly. And small things makes big projects. That's how it is. So in
sizes and everything.
So in respect to all the programs, what we are doing in March, Cynthia and Eric, so I can see a lot of opportunities for students who are from engineering background, either mechanical, electrical, or from IT background, whether you have done your BCA or you have done your bachelor's in information technology, or you have done your bachelor's in agriculture background. But when we talk about India is huge, and the recent figure shows 1.8 million students have gone for foreign studies last year. And we were looking at the data which shows by 2030, the number of students going abroad will be 3.6 million, right? And out of this 3.6 million, the students who are going abroad, 50% will be IT technology. Rest 50% is the commerce background students, right? So, and these students are brilliant as well. So, are we not focused on getting commerce background students to the campus on, so they can also have a great life and great future coming in?
Sure. I mean, I guess this is forward thinking. We're at the moment we have our existing portfolio.
Right.
We are a very dynamic institution, so we are always listening to the market. We said that at the very beginning.
Right.
So at the moment, we have these profile of programs, also the profile of students, but that doesn't mean we're not listening to future opportunities,
Right.
and these are things that we will need to consider. But we understand that the four transitions that I was talking about in relation to the world, they're everyone's business, not just engineers. So we have to think of how we can provide a response.
How does the internship works at the end of the program, and what are the benefits for the students when they do internship, and how are they get paid onto the internship, and what is the process for getting the degree after they complete the internship? Please.
Sure. So, for us, the internships are a compulsory part of our programs. Right? So that's the first thing. Programs are actually, if they're extended, you're right, they're 28, but if they're a master's program, they're 24 months.
Right.
So really the first 18 months is to study, and the internship comes at the end.
Right.
Although they're compulsory, they're not guaranteed. We do have a program, we have a team, and we have a career center that definitely helps those students in securing them. We have a network of 4,000 corporate partners.
Right.
So obviously we have a lot of people around us that can help the students have those placements, those internships. And the French law actually says that if the internship is more than 2 months, they're paid. So I think at the moment it's around 550 euros per year per month is a minimum for those internships.
Right.
And really, I see those internships as a perfect opportunity for students to be able to sell themselves, apply the skills really that they've learned in the classroom now, and really put them into real world environments. It enhances their employability, and sometimes students that. It's like an extended interview, really. When they're on those internships, if they do a good job, then there is, sometimes a possibility of a future employment on the back end of those. So it's key.
Brilliant. Yeah. So as Eric said, internship makes students to get into full-time jobs easily because you're already a part of the industry, and whatever you have studied, you're putting it practically into the trade. And so for you, the full-time job prospects become easy, whether in France or back in your home country. So let me tell you, any student who do masters or bachelors in France, they're eligible for 2 years of post-study work visa. So they have the rights to stay and work in the country full-time to enhance their skills. So when you come back to your home country, you have that experience, what you have invested, you get into practical work and do something back for your home country. So Eric, I think that sounds perfect. And this is running the 10 programs in March. I think will be an opportunity for a lot of students, because a lot of students miss September intake for a lot of countries, whether the results are late or the offer letters are coming late from the universities, or they don't get the visa process on time. So I think this is an opportunity for a lot of students in India who are looking forward to study abroad. One more thing, Ari, I need to understand, so what is your offer letter turnaround time? So once the student is okay, so you need all academic documents, they will fill the application form. So what is the offer letter turnaround time for the student? Because a lot of students are really worried, have we been accepted or not? And with few institutes, they don't even come to know for a month. And that's a time where they miss on to the next intake. So if you can please let us know.
We understand that obviously applying to schools, university, but after, if you're looking to do your master's, it's an important decision. You want to have decisions as quickly as possible. So working with yourselves, what we're looking to do is once students have submitted a good, clean application, we're looking to get back to them within 7 days. Within those 7 days, we will tell the students if they've qualified for the interview. There will be further instructions that will be provided for that. But in essence, then they are subject to an interview. The interview is 30 to 45 minutes, and we're really looking to assess the motivation of the student, understand what their project is, and why are they looking to study with us, and what are they looking to do with their degree once they graduate. So it's an important step. Once that happens, then the student will need to, they will be sent a letter obviously, but they will need to confirm their place. So there's a deposit scheme in place for that, and then there's a process to follow in relation to the visa. But all of that should happen, within, we're talking weeks here, we're not talking months to complete the whole process.
So that's brilliant. So offer letters is 7 working days, as Eric said, and you will come to know whether you're qualified to study further, and if qualified, you will get an interview call from Junior Graduate Engineering School, and then you can process for the visa further. Eric, the last question before we end, and which has been asked by a lot of students when they look at France, Germany as the study options, different European countries. is there is a language barrier for a student who don't know French, so which is a question comes into place. So, and I think the students are also allowed to work part-time during the program, which is 20 hours per week. So, because a lot of students from India, they do not know French as a language, because the courses are taught in English, they're eligible for it. So do they face any language barrier, because you already had 40,000 students and 6 to 8,000 international students? So can you please let the students know about it?
Well, I think obviously when students arrive, they're going to be taken hand in hand, with our incoming team.
Right.
And one of the courses they will have is what do they call it? The survival
Right.
French.
Right.
Okay. And so they'll know how to learn, the basics, bonjour, because
Right.
everybody says bonjour in the morning when you see them.
Yeah.
So they'll learn the basics, and then it's up to them.
Yeah.
It's up to them to really learn the language, because life is gonna be easier when they learn. But is there a barrier? No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Students can arrive
Yeah.
and feel comfortable because we have the team there that's gonna take them to their housing for the first time.
Right.
But I think there is a certain expectation that students will not stay in their apartment and focus on just getting the best grades for the next exam, but they really have to integrate into the student community, and that's going to come naturally.
Exactly, that's
Learning
come
French is going to come naturally.
Yeah, and I can see nowadays a lot of students in India, they know a bit of French. I don't know how, so they know bonjour, they know oui, so they keep on speaking French. So I think the culture is picking up.
Sure.
The cosmopolitan culture is now coming in India as well. So
I think the important thing to say here is that the curriculum, everything is in English language. There's absolutely no worry about that. There is an expectation that they have a certain command of the French language by the time they graduate. But we are confident, that the time they spend there, as you rightly say, Cynthia, if they integrate into the local community.
And I think it's all atmosphere, which makes you learn the local things. Because I never used to speak in Punjabi, though my family is from Punjabi background. I went to UK as a student, was staying in a house with 3 of the Punjabi students, and that's how I started picking up Punjabi, and now I can so that's how it is, So no language barrier, going to study in France. Your program is in English, but it's always good, and as the atmosphere is there, so it's good for you as well to grow in life, to learn different languages coming in once you're at campus. So with this, I would like to thank Adik Manning and Cynthia Zubair. Thank you very much for being with us today. And we are looking forward for all your support for the coming intake.
Absolutely.
And thank you very much, everyone. Keep watching us, and a lot of new shows and a lot of new updates will be coming to you soon. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.